The Texas Builders Construction was hired by the Water Management Department to renovate the storage room in the basement of the pump station building. According to the contract between the Water Management Department and the Texas Builders Construction, this project included replacement of the existing shelves, tiles, doors, and painting the walls, according to the plans and drawings. When the hot work operators were working in the storage room, a fire incident occurred and resulted in damages inside the storage room, including the buckling of these two columns. After the fire, other damages to the equipment inside the pump station in other rooms were also observed and led to a disagreement between the FP Insurance Group, which was the insurer of the pump station, and the Texas Builders Construction Company. The FP Insurance Group holds the contractor not only liable for buckling of these two columns inside the storage room, but also for the pump shaft breakage on the ground floor, the pipe breakage in the pipe room next to the storage room on the basement level, and also the settlement of these two footings, as you can see in the model. Today, I am representing the Texas Builders Construction, which is the defendant in this case, to present its defense and to respond to the FP Insurance's claim as the plaintiff. To help you better understand our arguments, let me give you a quick introduction to the pump station building. The pump station building is a two-story building including a basement and the ground floor. This green plane represents the ground level. On the basement, we have two separate areas. This one, the storage room, and the place where the fire incident occurred. This one is the pipe room. And on the ground floor, we have the office area. And next to the office area, we have the pump room and where the two pumps were operating at the time of the incident. The fire incident occurred inside the storage room in the basement, as I mentioned before. According to the NFPA 51B, which is the standard for fire prevention during welding, cutting, and other hot work, the storage room is permit required area, so our hot work operators or our welders had to receive the hot work permit before starting the welding. Here is the hot work permit the contractor received from the client before starting the hot work operation inside the storage room. The issuance of the permit indicated that the area is ready and safe for the welding, which is a hot work operation because according to the standard, the client had to make the storage free and clear from any kinds of combustible materials. However, unexpectedly, when the welders started working, they noticed these shelves that you see in the model have not left the room yet. And these four shelves that I'm highlighting, this one and also this one, were still full of its contents, as you see here in the picture. This is the picture which was taken before the contractor performed any of the work. When the fire started, the welders realized that despite the standard obligation among the materials stored in these shelves, there were some containers of the flammable liquids which were added to the intensity of the fire. If there were not these containers, the welders might have been able to extinguish the fire and prevent further damages. In addition to the existence of the flammable liquids inside the storage room, the other issue out of the contractor's control, which delayed the firefighting process, was the accessibility issue to the building from the outside. Let's take a look at the building using this model. As you see here, the pump station building has two entrances from the outside environment to the building. The first one is here, and the next one, as you see in the model, is this one in this side of the building. As you see in the model, the storage room and the pipe room can be accessed through these two staircases, which connects the office area on the ground floor and the pump room on the ground floor to the storage room and the pipe room in the basement. At the time of the incident, the firefighters had to use this door to make their way to the storage room through the office area. Since the building was under operation at the time of the incident, as you see in the model, the office area was full of furniture and consequently slowed down the firefighting process and eventually led to more damages in the building. Eventually, in spite of all the drawbacks in the firefighting process, the fire was extinguished in 70 minutes, and by exposure to the fire for this duration. These two steel columns in the storage room, this one and this one, were buckled, unfortunately. The FP Insurance Group claims that the Texas Builders Construction is also liable for all the damages outside the storage room, in addition to the inside, because they are the reason of the buckling of these two columns. So we have investigated the compliance of these two columns with the fire resistance standard. As you see, according to the standard, the minimum period of fire resistance in the non-sprinklered basement of the industrial building is 90 minutes when the depth of the basement is not more than 10 meters, which is the case here. Whereas the columns in the storage room were buckled in less than 70 minutes, as I explained before, indicating that the columns did not have enough fire protection and did not comply with the relevant standard. To summarize the presentation, the Texas Builders Construction, as the contractor in the renovation project of the pump station, and as the defendant in this case, does not accept its liability for damages outside the storage room, including the pump shaft breakage, the pipe breakage, and the footing settlements. The client had not removed the shelves from the storage room, a condition specified in the contract, but also issued the notice to proceed for welding while the containers with the combustible materials were in the shelves, which is against the obligation of the standard for fire prevention during welding, cutting, and other hot work, therefore adding to the intensity of the fire. Further, the accessibility for the firefighters to the incident area took longer than expected and led to more damages. In spite of these two issues, still, the contractor accepts the responsibility to compensate for damages inside the storage room, but not outside the room, even though the FP Insurance claims they were caused by the buckling of the columns inside the storage area. Because, as I explained during the presentation, these columns did not resist the fire as much as they were prescribed in the standard, indicating that they did not meet the standard requirement. Even accepting that the damages outside the building were the consequences of the buckling of the columns inside the storage, if they met the standard requirements and resisted the fire, the other damages in the other part of the building would have never occurred. Thank you very much for your time and attention to my presentation.